Namita.
Thank you. So, hi everyone, good afternoon. My name is Namita, and I'm going to be speaking to some esteemed guests here. They come from a mix of industry, services, consulting heavily into data and AI. So, before I start, I'm going to ask all of us to imagine, 3 to 5 years out, how would it be that you're in organizations which your next 1,000 workforce is mostly agents? How would it be to think of it that there is a mix of humans and agents working, where agents are not just getting tired, their productivity from the morning, start of the day, and there is no end to the day, right? So are we ready for that change that organizations will need to pivot towards? Second, think of it that your organizations need to have org charts, that a team leader at the top is an agent, because generally, who's a team leader? Somebody who performs better, has better outcomes, can be doing jobs and decisions that are faster. But you know what? The agent is going to be doing that. So are we ready for org designs where there is a non-human lead at the top, right? So with these two, the third question that I'll leave the room at the start, and probably we'll get the answers in the discussion, is if this is the journey we all are seeing happening at a pace like in last 18 to 24 months, there's an immense change the industry has seen, and the acceleration has been like nothing before. So with that, what are these foundational journey steps that we need to take to get to the two questions and be ready for it? So I'm going to have this talk with the panel here, and there's going to be two sections. The first section, there's one question to each one of them, talking about their industry, their organizational journey, and also their learnings in last 2 to 5 years, because that's where significant changes are happening around. And the second part is going to be like a quick fire round, about 1 to 1.5 minutes, that they're going to answer some takeaways for all of you, given that they are professionals and deep SMEs in their own right. So my first question is going to be for Kishore.
Sure.
Kishore, you as in you, and when I say you, I'm going to refer to your organization. You were born out of, sorry, this is getting into my mouth. You were, one second. It's getting into my mouth. So you were born out of crisis of 2008, right? And today you are disrupting both the work and the workforce like never before. So what are you seeing that has significantly shifted in the work and workforce models? That's one. And second, if you see organizations who are doing better in the this journey management, what are those crucial disruption steps they are proactively managing that you're seeing others are not? To you.
Thank you so much. No, I think the aftermath of 2008, 2009 financial crisis, I think that's purely coincidental for us. I don't think we planned anything around ProHance with the crisis. It was just coincidental, but I think it was very timely, and I think the solution like ProHance actually when we got going, of course, what we started in 2009 and what it is today, I think it's changed leaps and bounds. We've also kind of evolved over the years. But I think the fundamental principles behind ProHance always remain the same. I think the idea is, if you take the 2000-2009 period, I think it was all about the financial crisis, budgets got tighter, people wanted to achieve more with less, people embarked on lean transformation projects and things like that. And for us, the idea was to really help organizations get a visibility into their workforce and understand how their operations actually got done. So that was the whole premise with which we started, and I think that's how we had the initial success and kind of built over it over the years. And I think for us the two key points to take away were one is to get visibility and do it in real time. So that I think was again a big challenge, because most of the organizations we saw then were after the fact kind of analytics, but I think what we did was we actually gave them real analytics as the transactions happened. So that was the 2009 journey for us when we got going. But I think now what we have seen is the work has become more complex. The work has definitely become more complex. It's human agents now, and I think a lot of customers who are coming back to us now are also asking us of new challenges. One of the things that we did, in fact, just in Hyderabad, like a couple of days, we had a meeting there with we were presenting how people are actually adopting AI. So AI adoption index is what we are publishing to our customers, and we actually show them how their AI usage is actually impacting their productivity now. So that's a wonderful. Currently, we're doing a very loose correlation. Of course, we're going more deeper as we have a product roadmap in that direction. But I think what we are seeing is that the initial value that we are seeing from this whole measurement system, I think that's becoming extremely. We are very encouraged by the the reactions that we've been getting. And wherever I've attended in any conferences or any of these events, and this is an ask from everybody. Now, while I'm making so much of investments into this, so I think organizations staying focused not just on the strategies, but also defining the new metrics. I think that those days are gone where people were measuring on FTE savings and things like that. I think now it's all about, it's like the volume to velocity and how you're able to actually create more value and capabilities. I think that's, become the new measure. So for us also, I think the challenges have just gone up. Simple productivity measures don't work anymore. I think it's more complex, and it's a more consultative-led model for us at this point of time.
So how many of these, like you said, the vanity metrics, probably some of the organizations are still trying to showcase to the rest of probably their peer industry, and a lot of them who are like publicly listed versus privately held. They want to show to their boards what they're doing well. They want to, to talk good to the, the public what they're doing. But what are you seeing that on the ground, organizations who are really doing some tough talk internally? Are they seeing, associations of their metrics to their outcomes, and they're able to, showcase and also broad-base that to an enterprise-grade kind of, thinking?
No, I think it's I think I heard from some of the speakers a little earlier. I think, it's a very, what should I say, it's a very complex kind of situation like now in terms of how do you really see the value? How do you measure value? I think is when everybody has their own way or nuances to measure value out of this. I think I would like to answer that by saying there are 4 principles behind the measurement, right? I think it's very important. What we want to see is there a leadership commitment? I think visionary leadership in this journey, I think, is extremely critical. Second thing is how people are getting skilled. So digital literacy is a big driver. So I think organizations focused on that are able to see a higher value. Third, I think, is also, somebody mentioned a lot of POCs are being done, and we see a lot of experiments actually failing, experiments succeeding but not moving forward. So I think local innovations and innovations to scale, I think, are the third piece I would say is extremely critical. And fourth, I would say, is we really want to turn global. I think also to have that global mindset and global influencing capabilities, I think, are very critical. So I think organizations which have actually focused on those areas, I think, have really taken a much better steps forward. And I think we are only supporting our customers in trying to take this journey forward. So we are really like co-partners in the technology space to drive this strategy.
Sure. Ashutosh, my next question is for you. So 2020 is such a pivotal movement for Cigna. You not just launched a new platform, it was Cigna's big bang entry and rewired India's play in how Cigna was looking at the global presence. So 2 parts to my questions for you. The first part is, what was this transformation about? Because this was such a big step in the journey. But also, how did data play a backbone? And you lead data and AI COE, so how did it play a backbone? And the second question is, fast forwarding to where we are today, how do you see the journey from here to next 2 to 3 years, and the real blockers, not just for yourself, but industry at large, to enterprise-grade AI, because it rests on data analytics in a big way?
Thanks, Namita. I think you asked a lot of questions in one question. Before I start, I want to thank 𝗟𝗲 and Haisha for setting up such a wonderful event in Hyderabad. Thanks, Kapil and Prashant. So if I break up your question, one is on the Cigna Evernorth journey, then how it went for last 1 or 2 years in the agentic or the Gen AI area, and how we see it's going for next 2 years, especially on the data part you want me to cover, right? Okay, so Cigna was set up in Bangalore in couple of years back, but in 2020, it actually got started getting traction. A lot of hiring happened in Bangalore, and we set up the international health market there. Evernorth is a brand of Cigna, which opened in Hyderabad in 2024. Previously, I was the site lead for Bangalore, and then I moved to the Hyderabad as leading the AI COE team here. I still remember I hired my first employee in early 2024, and I was figuring it out how to write an effective prompt to extract some data. And if I fast forward 18 months, we have gone through a lot of solutions, which is data extraction, IDP processing, claims, and different companions for the healthcare industry. And now we are trying our hands on Agentic AI. So in my 20 years of career, last 18 months, I have seen the most fastest time I have seen, like, zoop. I can never imagine what happens in last 18 months. Things have changed, technologies have evolved, new things have come up, right? We have now a lot of LLMs there. So this is the fastest growth I've seen in any industry in last 20 years of my career. Coming to the AI COE function of Evernorth Health Services, we lead AI with a lot of inclusion, where we make sure no employee is left and everyone is empowered to use AI or develop AI. We work with a lot of operations team, technology teams. We enable them to use AI, develop AI, and using low-code, pro-code frameworks. A couple of things which I see as a challenge in general for the GCCs. The first one is the Agentic AI sweet spot. What that means is we have to really figure out the right use case of Agentic AI. We can't put Agentic AI everywhere, right? So getting the right use case is the first step, right? Like repetitive processes which needs real-time solutioning or real-time, autonomy, which systems can take decisions, right? So those are the typical cases for Agentic AI. Like, for example, end-to-end claim processing, dynamic pricing, prod support, right? That's a typical use case where you can actually do a lot of Agentic AI work, right? So these are the couple of areas. First, we have to really get the right use case. Once the right use case is there, the second challenge which is related to this use case is dealing with the age-old systems, right? A lot of GCCs actually have the old legacy systems, and there is still a challenge really to, integrate the agentic things, the agentic framework with those legacy systems. We don't have the APIs, we cannot directly talk to the data there, right? So that's another challenge, right? And data are also in silos, different formats, and the data is not ready to be used in agentic AI solutions, right? So data, now again, that's a debatable thing. Now people say with this whole AI coming in, we can even modify data, we can clean up data quickly, right? But still, you need data, you need proper data governance there, right? The other challenge which I see still in a lot of places, I hope my voice is clear, right?
Yes.
It's audible, right? So people talk about, start building the agentic AI solution, but still, I see in a lot of corporations, the basic ethical framework is not there. We first have to think about setting up a proper framework to make sure we do the ethical AI, proper guardrails are set up to make sure we are done with our data privacy and data security thing, right? Because this also brings an important question, because right now we are sitting, right? In 2026, you will actually see a lot of agentic AI solutions are working on systems, right? If anything goes wrong, who takes the responsibility? Is it the developer? Is it the external data source provider, data providers? It is the business units, or it is the deployment team, right? I mean, we have to be very clear on the responsibility side. That's the other thing which I see. One more thing I want to touch upon is the platform side, right? Buy over build, right? This is such a debatable topic, but a lot of things happening outside, right? If you get the right platform, right tool, right technology, I would suggest to buy it rather than really building it. There is no point of reinventing wheel. There are a lot of small, good corporations which are building a lot of good solutions, right? We try to reuse those rather than building end-to-end solution for us. Right? So these are the couple of the things which I see as a challenge. Talent is, I don't see talent as a challenge. We have a lot of people. The only thing is we have to reskill them. We have a lot of data scientists, machine learning engineers, software engineers. But what we really need now is a full stack agentic AI engineer, like who understands the nuances of LLM, understands the reinforcement learning, understands the ML ops, understanding, the ethical piece of it, right? So all these things to be reskilled. That's the couple of things which I see is a challenge, and we see how we need to resolve it in the next 1 or 2 years.
So the last point you said is, I'm sure, of interest to most people in this room, that you said talent is not a problem, but getting them to that level where you can have some of these breadth skills, right?
Yes.
More of T kind of a talent. How do you get there? Because saying it easy, you can build great, repository of learning artifacts in the organization. You can give them right experiences. But the way technology is moving so fast, and at the same time, the pace at which people need to learn isn't, I think, matching up. So
that's the mindset we have to change, actually, right? And in fact, it's happening. I see especially the new, new engineers who are coming in. They're open to everything. They are ready to learn the programming. They are ready to learn these ML ops. They are also ready to learn doing some front-end work, right? Ready to learn the prompt engineering. And that's the skill set. A mix of skill set is required. Because if I see 3 years from now, a person should be self-sufficient to build the whole Agentic AI solution, deploy it, manage it on production, rather than having a team of 10, 20 people.
got you.
If I can add to that
Sure.
question, right? Because it's 14 minutes, I doubt if I'll get a chance to speak. So I thought I will try to
Your
create
turn was next.
to create a space for myself. So on the talent, right? Agentic solutions are mostly software engineering problem, and India is known for software engineering talent. So it's just to make sure, right? Hey, this is your space, right? And people are already picking it up. The second aspect where I see some more thinking is needed is such a fast evolving space. If I take an example, right, in most of this generative AI agentic problem, context is a string. But now what we are saying is, no, context need not be a string, but it could be a combination of multiple things, and it could be a Bayesian framework fit into an optimization. If things move so fast, it's extremely hard for everyone to move so fast, right? It's not practical. That's where partnership is needed, right? A lot of GCC leaders are here. They have to partner with the right things. It could be niche analytics providers, or it could be academia, it could be anything, so that as they do things, they are not reinventing the wheel. They are also making sure they're benchmarking with whatever is latest is happening. Second point I kind of differ from him is there's a lot of already buy options. Unfortunately, the buy options are becoming technical depths very soon because this is moving so fast. You rather try to keep trying open source technologies available, and today whatever you buy, tomorrow could be a burden. So maybe have a sweet spot, right? Do some building in-house as well, because that's needed for you to kind of stay up to date on what's happening.
Actually, we have to thoughtful on this. Like, we have to be
No,
careful.
now
while
he's going to interrupt, saying, where is my time? But go ahead, sorry.
No, I agree with you. We have to make a cautious decision, like what to buy over what to build, right? That's a balance we have to strike out.
Got you. I'm an agent. He was supposed to be third. I heard his voice, and I am giving him a pass. So no, let me, Karthik, get the question for you. See, there's also, that's probably, I was telling you at lunch, it's a personal question as well, that, 𝗟𝗲𝗱𝗿𝗀𝗱𝗏 is a name that, you hear in most rooms when there's a serious talk going on, data, analytics, AI. So one, it's not just, I think, luck. There is something more at the back, right? And was that strategy right there at the start from 2011 when your founders decided? Or was it like, a good naming pundit who named Tiger, who's going to roar, was probably destined to happen? Just, before we even get to your question, just talk to us about that.
Yeah, on the name Tiger Analytics, there's no thought, I think. Founder had 3 names kind of folded, and then his mother did a Inky Pinky Ponky and picked Tiger Analytics. So there's no complex things there. And as an org as well, right, we have kind of kept it simple, kind of being mix of reactive and proactive to what happening in industry, because it started as an AI first company. 2011, we were doing Bayesian, we were doing computer vision, we were doing all AI stuff. Eventually, we become a data and AI because, boss, where is the data, right? You can do POCs with whatever data you have, but for you to build enterprise scale solutions, you need data in place. our data engineering practice kind of massively grew over the last few years. So that has funneled, and I think everyone has this problem, right? That you need to have the right data in place. The second aspect where we, again, stick to basics is, for a lot of the solutions to work, you need data. You also need underlying statistics. Because, for example, there is already McDonald's overdosage here. Let me add a little bit more to it, right? If McDonald's, right,
Actually,
let's
after
say...
this, we're all going to eat McDonald's today.
Exactly. So it's a franchisee-based business, right? Let's say there is an owner of 10 stores who wants to analyze, right? Hey, what's happening to my stores? Why there is a decline in number of transactions and all that? First of all, there is data needed. And two, what is driving to this, right? There are a lot of these driver models. This cannot be learned by generative AI. This has to be learned from statistics. Now, there are the statistical models. They have to be agentified so that this agent can call a statistical driver model. Then, okay, I'm going to make a price change. What is going to happen to my sales? There is a forecasting agent needed, right? Still, those basics are needed to solve problems which will impact top line, because a lot of people are talking about efficiency, bring down the workforce, do more with less, right? I would say do a lot more with more, because you have so many people, right? We need more jobs. So you rather focus on top line impact, and for that you need to be closer to business and fundamentals like statistics, data, right, to kind of back these agentic solutions.
Okay, thank you. And probably I'll come back to you. I have to give Madhuri a chance.
Yeah, please.
Madhuri, 3 million square feet campus coming at Hyderabad, which is going to be second after US for Google. 25,000 employees, that's what I read, and you tell me. Tell me, it's great to hear that, because it's not just scale, it's like a power move by the company. But how do you really, it's a provocative to probably patch to the question, let me say. Today went scale, and that was the topic to our conversation, scale and impact. So how do you justify a location as huge when we are almost thinking that, let's look at so many different work models and productivity, et cetera? That's one part of the question. And second, you're at the center of Google's ad universe, right? Where it's AI is in practice, and it's all about throughput. It's all about, going from process optimization to outcomes which are much more orchestrated. So what are you seeing that, Google is doing in terms of already fast forwarding into the future when others are trying to, catch up to the past?
Firstly, thank you for invitation. It's a privilege to be part, so thanks to 3AI and HYCIA for this invitation. And it's a fantastic thing to be in Hyderabad and talk about the Hyderabad city and Google. What else would you ask for? Once a Hyderabadi or a Hyderabadi for life. I was born, raised in Hyderabad, so this is a city very close to my heart. We're very excited about the Google campus coming in Hyderabad. It's going to be our flagship, one of our flagship offices, and like she said, like Namita said, globally this is second to some of our headquarter buildings as well. And when I say the flagship office, it's not about the physical space, it's not about the headcount, what we are investing, but it's actually our strategic commitment to Google's future and how we can build for the world from India, from Hyderabad as well. And what we truly commit from Google and what we are really looking forward, because Hyderabad has always been a city known for innovation, technology, and expertise. So we really want to ensure that Google Hyderabad continues to build on that foundation. And we've heard a lot today about how we are going to leap into the future. The future is going to be very different. We've all had all the words, right? Like extraordinary future, exponential future. So I'm really looking forward to that. And Namita's question on scale, how can scale and productivity, all of these coexist together? I actually think that scale actually empowers AI better, because AI thrives on vast amount of data, world-class talent, and some complex real-world problems. And I feel that's what we have here in India. That's what we are trying to solve for the world. So that way, actually, the scale itself will truly empower what we can solve with AI. And I'll give 1 or 2 examples from Google, right? So we have launched our AI-powered Performance Max campaign. Earlier, an advertiser had to choose their bids, budgets, and multiple other things across search, YouTube, display to figure out. Today, all they need to do is come to our Performance Max campaign and tell us what's your objective. Let's say my objective is I want to improve my cost per acquisition, or I want to decrease some of the ROAS or improve the ROAS. So if they come up with the objective, and I'm going to use the word which Namita also said, right? It's not anymore optimizing the campaign. That's what we used to do in the past. But here we are actually, the AI itself is orchestrating the campaign to ensure that the customer's goals are met. And I'm in the same boat as what I feel is I actually think AI will enable more growth. Because if, imagine the entire book of the business, if you're able to truly enable the AI, so that's our Performance Max. Other example is our Gen AI creatives. We have small, medium, large advertisers. Think of a bakery in Hyderabad. How often do they have resources to generate one of the high-end creatives? Any advertiser, no, even however small they are, they don't lack ambition. They only lack resources.
And
Today
the bakery competes with McDonald's.
Yes. And so I think what they need is resources, and that's what we have, the capability with Gen AI, our ability to truly create creatives at scale. And because this topic comes up often, I just want to leave you with one thing, and we've heard a lot today about experiments, compliance, what about do you need to control? Here's one line I've always believed. Compliance and control are not enemies of innovation. Because especially in the AI era, compliance and control, actually they build the foundation. Trust is very, very important as we go ahead. So the two phrases I often tell my team is disciplined experimentation, controlled deployment. Because when we go to production, I think we've all spoken enough, right? Right accuracy, right safety, and is it reliable? Did we do red teaming? Did we break all the biases? Do everything you can control for the deployment. But when you're experimenting, experiment with the right discipline set of here are my principles, here are a few things I'd like to fail fast, here are a few outcomes I see. So all in all, I'm really looking forward to our Google Hyderabad campus, and I really think scale and AI will coexist together.
Thank you. That's a good one. I'm sure people in the room who are Hyderabad based especially, they're going to be looking forward to that building. It's going to be state of art is what I hear. Yeah. So question back to you. So you, and probably, you can also chime in, Kishore, you consult with a lot of companies, and what do you see are their readiness in terms of their journey? Because from a data to AI journeys, across the industries, is it more, some industries are more complex than others, or it's more organizations who are more, their own journeys, which are, at the intersections of AI readiness, but at the same time, the foundations are not as strong. So what's your take?
I will let him go first.
Sorry? You can go first. I go first? Okay. No, I was actually, when she was talking of Hyderabad, I thought I was in two minds to interrupt and say, Bangalore is, we thought that's what about Bangalore, yeah, but I didn't want to get a brickbat from them. Because when we talk of Bangalore, we talk about traffic these days. So I thought, okay, let me stay away from that.
Welcome
but anyway,
to Hyderabad.
Yeah, that's on the lighter note. But I think, the question can be answered in so many different nuances again, right? I mean, if you really look at it, I think there are organizations at different stages of maturity. And I think sometimes the organizations also are probably doing, if you look at the way the technology has evolved, I've seen organizations which are at a very early stage of RAG models thinking they have actually reached their a peak in a way, or rather they're doing a lot of experiments, they've not really moved to the next. And then we see tool augmented, technologies in place. Now, of course, agentic AI and all of that. But I think if you really ask the organization in terms of what level of maturity have people reached out, I think it's a very difficult measure to make. I think what's important is the roadmap for the organization around AI should be very clear. I think that's very important. And I think how you measure around this roadmap, I think is also very important. So defining the right metrics and controlling all those metrics around that, I think is also going to be very important. And I think, of course, the governance and all that, I think many people have spoken about it. It's a given thing. So I don't, again, as she said, we don't question, that's part and parcel of the journey, right? So having said these things, I think the key focus, I think where people are really struggling, and I think that's what we see, is actually the talent, building the talent. I think for Karthik's point that he made, I think it's, while you're investing in the talent, you also have to be conscious of the fact like the talent is also working with a lot of Gen Z kind of talent, and it's a different kind of working style, and we have to see how, I'm just and Cognizant is doing a lot of work around vibe development and things like that. And you hear new terminologies every time. So actually, to the point, I mean, where do you start and where do you end? I think it's extremely difficult times to really kind of benchmark where you are and where you get started. I think the new normal is being set every month, actually. So I think we started to the point, I think the other gentleman mentioned is like, we are actually experimenting a lot of open source technologies ourselves, and for the same point, what they mentioned is, because we don't know if we get stuck with one commercial model, we get stuck with them, and then the investments will, not pay off. So I think for us, we are perpetually in the, experimental zone at this point of time, and trying to share those experiences with our customers. So I don't know whether I have a straight answer for your question, but really this is what I am seeing as a landscape in front of us, actually.
Sure. Karthik?
I'll make it short because a couple of things which differentiates a mature organization versus someone who's kind of scratching their head is one, conviction to make it work. Because this is 95% accurate, not 100%. But it will be 100% in some pockets for now, it will become 100% in future. Conviction to make sure, keep trying, make this work, right? It is not, I'll try this POC, another, and after a year I give up, right? Versus, okay, this is the business case, this is what I'm going to solve. I'm also practical on what I can achieve in 6 months versus what I can achieve in 2 years. That maturity and conviction is what really differentiates someone who is evolved versus small. And Tiger kind of caters to that entire spectrum, right? We also kind of guide them on what should be the path, right? So that they are, after 3 months, right, if they're frustrated, they're going to say, oh, Tiger did not add value, right? We rather be upfront, say, hey, be sure on what you want.
So Madhuri, you want to talk about?
I'll just build on what Kishore and Karthik said. He talked about the clarity of the roadmap. He talked about the conviction to make that roadmap happen. I'll just add another 2 words, right? I think to make, like what you said, happen, every industry is going to be at a different maturity journey every month. So I think the 2 other words I would add is mindset and ensuring that our talent is absolutely world-class to make it happen. Once we have clarity and conviction, you also need the mindset that we will no longer be a center of expertise, center of excellences, we will be center of intelligences. Intelligent orchestration is what we will all do, and I think ensuring that having the right mindset so that we will become a center of intelligence and empowering our talent to own the end-to-end ownership.
If I might just add, I think just 2 words again. While I think AI is not the end solution, right? I mean, AI is a catalyst to where you want to go, but I think the key really is the skills is the real engine, actually. So while AI is the catalyst, skills is the engine to reach those final goals. I think if you focus on these 2 things, actually, especially on the skills, I think that's the most critical thing for organizations to succeed.
Sure. So I thought we were given 30 minutes, but I think the timer was for 20. So we'll kind of wrap it up.
You told us this panel has to be the best, so that's why it's turned out to be the best.
Sure. So I think what I heard, 3 things that I'm able to take back for the audience here is conviction. As everybody said, you have to be relentlessly following the pursuit of the journey, and the destination is going to keep shifting, because today we are following one thing, but the journey has to be relentless. And second is the skill set. Ashutosh, you mentioned an amazing point that invest on your entry talent, because with the work models getting changed, there's a lot of hybrid still in picture. There's a natural pivot towards here and now and who is in front of you. So entry talent for our audience, please invest on them, coaching, mentoring, and making sure that they are very smart talent who needs a bit of hand-holding, and then they're great. And I love, Madhuri, what you said, disciplined experimentation and controlled execution. Is that
Controlled deployment.
Deployment, yeah. So that's for the panel here. Thank you so much, and thank you for the panel here. Thanks.
Thank you, Namita.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you,
hosting
Namita.
us.